Good afternoon, everybody in Ireland, and good morning to anybody in America, and good evening if you're on the eastern side of Europe. So I've just recorded a stream with Conor Rafferty. That he was a candidate for the Irish Freedom Party in the last general election. Amanda has done a lot of work for nationalism. He's always trying to network with people when he was involved in the nationalist movement a lot more. Only up until very recently. Now, I have alluded to a few things on streams in the past few months that there has been chaos going on in the background. There has these agents been going around using cloned accounts. You seen my response to Grant Torino last night when he seemed to have interacted with one of these fake accounts. Now the same thing happened to this man, and it has been happening to other people in this movement. And we are just discovering, hold on, This happened to you. It happened to me as well. It's happening this minute. There are fake Telegram accounts called Critiqued going around pretending to be me in all sorts of groups on Telegram, in the anti-lockdown groups and every sort of group, and they try to talk as if like it's me that's talking. Another thing they'll do is any old sort of voice messages that I would have left on Telegram, you can forward these to your saved messages, and they're able to put these up as if they're fresh voicemails from me when they could have been recorded months ago, and they're after being copied, because if you forward any message in Telegram that has audio in it into your saved messages, well, it just gets copied. It's there forever. It's there for life. So that's what they're doing. It's a clever thing, and it has worked up until now. It has caused a lot of chaos in this movement. If I know a lot of people that if they come under the pressure been that I have been under for the past 3 months that I've told nobody about, they would have broke. I know they would have. It's just I'm too fucking bullheaded to let the likes of this get to me. To let these people drive me off the internet. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. You can try every trick in that Antifa handbook that I put on my Telegram channel earlier. It's not going to work. We have you. We know what you were up to. So what I'm going to do here on Telegram now is I am going to show you the stream from YouTube. I'm just going to replay it and we can watch it. So that is what we're going to do. This has just been recorded in the past hour. There's a couple of little glitches where my Wi-Fi went down, but nothing. There's nothing in there that has been really covered up through the glitches. You can still hear the whole message. You can hear exactly what we're talking about and what the situation is. So it's important that people in this movement, who are in the Irish movement specifically, who are, I hate this word influencers, but if people watch your content, one of the tactics that these people use is they will try to get in with somebody really sweet right up to you and really fucking blow smoke up your asshole, and then when they find out who your inner circle is, who your friends are, they will impersonate you on other accounts, on lots of different accounts. There was even a group set up at one stage called Critics of Critiqued, and it was there to try to undermine my ideological positions, and because I wouldn't stay at these radical, unreasonable, ridiculous positions that like we would take away civil liberties and stuff like that, they were trying to make out, they were trying to undermine me by saying, oh, you're a weak nationalist, and you won't bring in segregation and stuff like that. You're a weak nationalist. So that's what their tactic is. So we're going to watch this now. Give me a second to just set this up. Okay, something just took my attention there. 1 second. So I hope you are well. I'd say it's early. What time is it now in Ireland? It's 3:30. Yeah, a nice thing to be looking at on a Sunday, but at least this is going to clarify and clear up a few things that have been going on in the past while. Let me just see here. Yeah, and I want to thank Conor for coming on because, as we say, you'll hear it now in this stream. When I first started to get this hassle, it was from an account that was pretending to be this man. It had his picture they were after getting it from his Facebook with his kids in the background, and they were coming at me trying to start shit. And immediately, I messaged him on his real account, which is subscribed to my Telegram channel. So I never got a reply to that message until that was on the 17th of January, until March. And my assumption was that they had been intensely harassing him to try and drive him off the internet because he is a communicator. He is someone that networks. He is an important cog in the wheel of the nationalist movement, and this is why they were going after him. Now, since that, they have gone after a lot of different people. So this is just so that you are aware of the tactics that are being used. That is the reason for talking about this and showing you this today. So let me just double check that the volumes are set to the right height. Yes. Okay. have it on one sec, so folks. I don't know if there's anybody even there, but this will be here on the replay. Especially after last night, like, he got the wrong end of the stick. He's been duped anyways, but look, it's not his fault. It could happen to anybody. And I suppose if you think I'm sort of cheeky anyways, and then this account starts coming and giving you cheek, you're just going to say, yeah, that is him. But no, it wasn't. I'm only cheeky with people who are like that with me. So let's just see here. Will this play? I'm getting the salt timer. So yeah, I think it's going to play. I'll put it on the full screen for you, and then I'm going to check the audios. Actually, 1 second. I'm going to mute my mic for this. All right, everybody, how you doing? You're going to be watching a pre-recording here, an early stream today, but we're doing it unlisted, but I'm going to put it up after. There's a few things that we have to get to talk about here, things that have been going on in the nationalist movement for the past 3 to 4 months, behind the scenes. I've mentioned this a couple of times in streams, alluded to it, things going on behind the scenes, saying I'm dealing with Sparrows, dealing with infiltrators and stuff like that, but I've never covered it in depth and properly. And I just happened to have a chat with Conor yesterday, with Conor Rafferty. He's here with me, and when this first started with me, it started in January. Somebody on an account called, using your name, Conor, right, came at me and started asking me questions about my ideological positions and saying that my ideology was too weak. It wasn't radical enough. That's not what they used. They didn't use those words. They were saying that your ethno-nationalism has a blind spot and things like this. And they were using a picture of you, and there was kids in the background, and I knew it wasn't you, right? Because I know your attitude is not really fucking forward. I just knew, I had an idea that it wasn't you. So when I seen this picture, I was thinking to myself, this is not him. So I sent you a message on your real account, because I know your real account. It's sub to my channel, and I'm sub to yours. So, but the thing is, I never heard back from you. You hadn't been on in the past 2 months, and I was thinking to myself,
I haven't. I've been out of the loop for a couple of months because I've been busy with other things. Yeah. But I just happened to be back in the loop a wee bit there and checked my messages, and I saw your message and got back to you and said, no, that wasn't me. And then that's kicked off the conversation and said, well, somebody was contacting you under my name, and I said, well, I've been getting that as well. It's been going on quite a bit, where I've been getting these fake accounts contacting me purporting to be other nationalist influencers. And I've got wise to it now, and basically it's people impersonating to try and cause soul division, start rows. And after a bit of thinking, it became obvious to me who these people were. Who's going to gain? Like the old question, qui bono? Who gains? Who gains if the Irish nationalist movement, which is already fractured enough? But I mean, that's part of like different, people starting at different times in different parts of the country with different organizations. That's okay. But whatever, who doesn't like to see us getting together, getting to know each other, starting to work together? Of course, it's going to be your NGO class, isn't it? Your globalist shills. So I presume, yeah, and the likes of these guys, people with time on their hands, maybe a bit of funding, access to idle hands in an NGO building somewhere, being paid money to, do whatever it is it says.
Interfere, lower morale.
Lower morale. Do the state's dirty work for them. Disrupt any real opposition. So what could be better, and especially in COVID, and when a lot of people are a wee bit nervous about using their real names and whatnot, and so many people rely on social media and messaging accounts and things like that just to get in there. It's really it's easy. I mean, I don't know why they didn't think it's a genius. I have to tip my hat to them.
I do.
Credit devil, give the devil his due. It's a smart move.
They're very good at harassing people, but I think it's because the media has even been saying that the right wingers are trying to use COVID as a reason to piggyback, to try and put their message out across, to get their message across to more people. So this would make these people want to infiltrate and to stop that process. And what's the thing about our message? What's so bad about it? No, if it appeals to people, that's because it's the truth and it's real. But apart from that, when I seen that the account that was messaging me had your picture and a picture of kids in it, I assumed that you were getting seriously harassed, because I messaged you and there was no message, but you ended that you had been off doing other things, and that's.
I was
my
getting it. I was getting
you
it
had been getting
in
it, but not.
3 months back in
That's that's not why you
August
left on me.
and September. No, no,
Hmm.
no, no, it's all. I'd spent a year working on Irish nationalism, pretty much.
Yeah, you had
Like at a
a few
part-time
years.
job, but 40 hours a week, and I just thought, well, it's time to. An opportunity came up to get involved in something that would develop myself outside of that,
Mm.
which I took, which I'm working on right now, and but so I haven't left the cause, not at all.
But you know
So
what's
I just had.
amazing? It's amazing that yesterday you messaged me back. I messaged you in January and said there's a fake account with your picture and kids in it messaging me, and I didn't get a message back until yesterday. And the mad coincidence about this is that at the moment there is cloned accounts of mine. Right? I have an account on Telegram called Critique101, and it has a picture of the New Nationalists, the symbol from the program that RTE did, the hit piece on the National Party that it backfired on them. So I have that picture there, but my handle is Critique101, and there's clone accounts going around in lockdown groups, anti-lockdown groups, which I'm not in. I'm not in any anti-lockdown groups apart from one. There's one called Anti-Lockdown Ireland, and it has a green banner. That's the only one I'm in. But last night, like it's only yesterday that you answered my message, and we clicked and we realized that the two of us have been getting the same shit from the same people, and it's happened to other people. I know another YouTuber there that he has a small channel. I don't want to mention his name in case he doesn't want to be brought into it, but he knows, like he'll know when he sees this, and he has been. They were pretending to be me to him as well, and he fell for this for a couple of days, and he was talking to them. He didn't say anything that he cares about, but it's just the sickener of when you realise that you have been duped. And then last night, Grant Torino was doing a live stream, and I was after finishing my live stream, so I hosted his channel just to send my audience over to his channel. And next thing he makes this announcement that he was after getting grief off of or some critiqued account. He said critiqued has been giving me abuse, or he didn't realize I was there in one of these groups. And like it wasn't me because I never interacted with his account in my life. So that's why I said, hold on here. I know that I'm getting this shit from these people, and I know that you are as well. Let's just do a stream and expose this and talk about this and make people aware of this. And then last night, another fella emailed me, an Irish nationalist that we all know as well. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to bring him into it, but we know him. I know him in real life. You know him as well. He sent me English nationalists, which is the Antifa handbook. It was from Horace, actually. He's an English nationalist, and he was saying that this is one of the tricks that they use absolutely all the time. Is they try to try to get cozy with some influencers, and they try to undermine anyone that's in their sphere of influence that is trying to influence other people. It's all about that it's just all about sowing division and lower morale. So one of the groups I'm in there is one of the famous nationalist channels. It's not a group, it's a channel that I watch, Orlard, right? So a lot of shit has gone down in that group. Now, that group I don't think that's public anymore, but I know that you got hassled in there. I want to ask you this, was there clone accounts of yours? Well, I do know one of them contacted me, but did you ever see clone accounts of yours going around and talking about you behind your back or trying to impersonate you?
Well, it was behind my back. It was in front of my face.
Same here.
Look, I saw it in front of my face because this was a mistake for me. They actually got too cheeky with it and too arrogant with it because they thought it was demoralizing. In the Orla Red, it's like over 1,000 members, and there's a lot of activity. So I came in, and then somebody started hassling me and leaving voicemail messages. Basically, they were trying to get me to take positions, far more extreme positions than I would be comfortable with at all.
Exactly.
There was a bit of controversy because I'd said in the past that it had a gay experience like way back in my past. I don't consider myself gay. It was just like one of those things, and so this has been lit upon. This has been lit upon as a potential fault line to try and spread division, and they were trying to get me to just, it was obvious the tactic was to insult and then trying to get people against me, and then also to try and get me to disown or come out with something homophobic or something like that. It was maybe something racist as well. By we're talking about you're sleeping with black lads and things, stuff like this. In the hope that maybe I would sort of like say something homophobic, racist, or the jackpot would be to say something all in one. Because it was, I don't consider myself either of those two things. So there's absolutely no need. I take my Irish nationalist position without reference to those two things at all. It's not relevant. So it was very obvious
you're putting yourself out there. Real nationalists would be delighted to have you around, that you're doing what you do. It's obvious what they are. They're trying to box you in. Go ahead. They did the same to me, but it wasn't with other men that were saying that. about race, but I'll get into that anyway.
trying to get us to take positions that we, for the sake
Radical.
of getting them off our back and things like that, radical positions. And I can see they're doing that. And it was actually working with some of the other guys in the group because they were starting to weigh in. It was hard to know who was, there's so much anonymity. This is part of the problem. And this is what if you think about the NGO class, they love the fact that we're anonymous and they want fear, they want anonymity, they want a virtual movement because it's never going to be a threat. If it stays afraid, paranoid, anonymous, and virtual, it's never going to be a threat. But the moment people start raising their heads out of that, meeting up, and like last year was great for actual meetups, getting to meet nationalists from all over the country. The level of participation at the protests really ramped up as well, and it was actually starting to become a movement in real life. So these guys are sweating. Now, they've only got one tactic. One angle of attack, which is to get in there and use social media and use people's innocence in a way, and good nature. To if somebody. Like for you, probably for a while, for a second, or for whether it was 1 second or 10 seconds or 10 minutes or 10 days, you were thinking this genuinely was me, right? And same thing, I got connected with an account that was supposedly Keith Woods, and I was chatting backwards and forwards with this person. I was taking precautions and asking them, to say something, let's do a voice call, let's do a video call. This account didn't want to do that, and I said, well, it's just Keith, that's just the way he is. But eventually it cottoned on that this wasn't Keith, and they even went as far as like sending me audio. They'd obviously clipped some audio and pretend that was live audio. So we do need to be aware. So we're doing this to raise awareness that this is a problem, that this is an issue. It is an attempt to schism, to cause division. It's very strategic. It's quite clever, but as soon as like the influencers get wind of this, the legs are going to be pulled onto this tactic of theirs, and they're also using it to try and like discredit us by getting us to take positions and start fights that useless. Who wants to get involved in flame wars? It's unproductive. Sometimes our instincts get the better of us. Our quick reactions, our emotions get the better of us, and we get into something. But then with time, we pull back. I'm glad to see that, I've been involved in flame wars at the start, but you pull back. You don't spend like 6 months going over the same ground because there's important work to be done. But these impersonator accounts, what they're trying to do is kick this off and have us all the time fighting with each other. There was an ex-colleague of mine who's, I would say, would have been particularly vulnerable to emotional. A woman that was involved in something I was involved with as well would have been particularly vulnerable to emotional outbursts and things like that, and easily manipulated. I think I can see that they possibly. This person just turned to me and started talking about the messages and things like that. And now I know where these messages were coming. They're plainly coming from like fake accounts in my name, causing division between people who just should really don't know any better. But we're raising the issue now and just even people like the sort of boomer generation wouldn't be too good with technology.
No,
maybe they would be pulled into this quite easily as well. You just have to be sure. Try and if somebody's going to talk something important to you, get into a video call or at the very least an audio call. The boomers, the other people who are amenable to that, who are easily tricked, are the young generation who instinctively don't do phone calls or don't do video calls. Who don't like to do that. And also maybe a wee bit secretive as well. So they just live their life in text messages and messaging. So it's just, the point we're making is it's so easy to infiltrate and subvert that process. So you need to have your wits about you. You need to have your wits about you. I mean, it was really great to find out. I mean, obviously it was bad news to find out that you'd been the victim of this as well. But in a way, it meant that it wasn't personal to me, and it's obviously a tactic that they're using. We just wanted. It was your idea to have the stream. It's a great idea to publicize this. I've tried to tell people, but it's like if it's not affecting you directly, it's in one ear, out the other. And if people only think it's affecting you, like me, Conor Rafferty personally, then they're not going to, there's limited attention span. But if they can see that it's something going to potentially affect the whole movement, then I think we can, get some traction. And if we just get the spread, I will ask people to spread this message around, spread this video. We'll keep it short. Spread this video around.
Yeah, I have something else set up.
And warn them that this is happening. Like last night, they were at it again. I got contacted on Telegram by somebody purporting to be Alan Sweeney. You know Alan Sweeney, the great fella, the great wee fella who's doing the activists and doing the walks. And I contacted Alan straight away and said, "Is this you?" And he says, "No."
No, that's what they do. This is what I want to say.
There's nothing. Nobody is secret. Nobody is secret at all.
If they know who your friends are or who you are in with, like they did this with Initiator with me, they pretended to be me, they did the clone account and went in, and I think for about an hour he thought it was me until they said something the same as what they did with your friend. They went a little bit too far, and then he clocked it, he realised, and he asked me, and I said, no, it's not me. And that's what they do. If they see who you're friendly with, they will try and impersonate you to that person and try and cause division that way. And they did the very same thing with me as they did with you, right? It's not the gay thing, but it was the angle they came at me with was, your sister, we heard that your sister is married to a Brazilian or something like this, and this is why you don't condemn race mixing and all this. And they're trying to make me state radical, illogical, unreasonable position. Not trying to say that if you had government or if you could influence anyone in government, you would try and you wouldn't try and regulate marriage, and you should really regulate marriage, that only Irish can marry Irish. And who's going to go along with that? If you tried to push this into Irish people, they would emigrate and protest. But that's one tactic they do. Another thing was if they see, like I just said, if they see who your friends are, they'll impersonate you and go to them. But the hassle that I got, I'm just thinking there, you said there was one person that turned on you. The hassle that I got, I know that if a lot of people got this hassle, they would have broke under it, because it was literally one account coming at you 1 minute saying, "We know where you live, we're going to come to your house, we're going to..."
I was getting threats. There was a Twitter account going around as well that my sister actually found. She said, "What's going on here?" And she forwarded me this Twitter account that was picking fights with the NGO class. Like, why would I be doing that if it's too much important work to do, rather than just wasting time and having these flame wars with Izzy Kamikaze and things? I just said, well, congratulations, Izzy. When I found out of this, I said, like, well done. You know, you just wasted. She or he was involved in this thing for 3 days. You wasted your time with the flame war thinking you were fighting against me, but it wasn't me. So well done. Yeah. So it has like funny parts as well. But I mean,
I want people to know, if someone letting on to be me in a group, it's not me. I'm not in those groups. I'm only in 1 or 2 groups on Telegram. That's what I want people to know from this broadcast. There's a Critiqued IRL, capital IRL is the handle, Critiqued IRL, and it's going around pretending to be me, giving cheek to people and saying spelling words wrong, trying to impersonate me to the like perfectly, because I sometimes get typos wrong on the iPad or whatever. But this is what I'm saying: if people are in groups and you see this going on, you have to ask, like, look at the handle. If it's not Critique 101, it's not me. And you only have one Telegram account as well, don't you?
I do, yeah.
So if it's not your one, it's not. Like, if it's someone pretending to be you, that's another thing. People should be aware of that. Another thing people should be aware of is leaving voice messages in chats. If you leave a voice message in a chat, they don't have to clip it. All they have to do is forward it to their saved messages. They have a few ones of me where I actually gave in the beginning, because when this started in January and February, you were saying there was a few cloned accounts of yours that were in one of the groups there. Well, one of the lads has deleted them, but at the time, nobody knew what was going on. It was just beginning. It was only starting. And it's only now that we're looking back, we could see what's been achieved from all this fighting. It's nothing. It has lowered morale. Nobody trusts anybody. Everyone's afraid. Like, people that would have came out and wouldn't have been anonymous. They would have come out and said, yes, I'm who I am, and I'm going to stand beside my opinions. They're actually half afraid now, because they're seeing the way other people have been attacked. And this is why this is, if you're in the
just say that last bit again, or critiques.
Everything comes. Sorry, if you're in, just be careful leaving voice messages, because they don't even have to clip it. They just forward it into their saved messages, and then they can bring it back at any stage. I know there's people watching my Telegram. I put up a post the other night for 2 minutes, and immediately it was forwarded to somebody's saved messages. So, what they do is they try to see who you're friends with, and then they will try and cause division between those people. And if they can't do that, they will threaten you directly or intimidate you and try and get you off the internet. And as I said to you, if I know a lot of people that if they got the abuse that I was getting, they would have just folded. They would have deleted their channels and said, for the hell with that, I'm giving up this internet thing. But I wouldn't just give them that pleasure. No fucking way. I'm more determined than ever. So, I think it's good that we had this chat just to let people know exactly what's going on. And we should create.
It's interesting that you said it's in the it's in the
Yeah,
Antifa, it's in the English Antifa playbook to do exactly this thing. So we know that we concluded that it was their tactic, the NGO Antifa class, and now we know because you were forwarded a copy of their playbook to fake accounts, impersonate accounts, spread division, try and box people into positions that they wouldn't normally take, trying to that could then be used to discredit them through, who knows, like 3 months, 3 years down the line,
mm,
um, get you put out of a job or something like that. So just look, as always, be clear about what you stand for. And stick to that, and don't be tempted to get into, some of the younger guys might be a bit spurgy, might be
yeah,
want to get into
movers,
dick measuring, like
radical,
competition. Who's the most radical? You're more radical than I am, man. But you could regret that. Just be careful. You could regret
of
that a bit
course.
down the line. So, and there are bad actors who are provoking you to do this, and so like
Mm.
it's a bit of a honeypot situation. So just be careful. I'm not saying don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Don't go and stop if Conor Rafferty contacts you or critique contacts you. Just be judicious. Just use your common sense. Don't just assume. Try and move to a real get on a Skype call, a video call, so you can verify it's a person as
Yeah,
quickly as possible. But I mean, the more secretive you are, then you're not helping them. So people do need to stop being so secretive. The secrecy. The secrecy is what's allows this to
it
take
allows them.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's, I think we should
So
create a group with just people that we know who they are, and that's it.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
no one
yeah.
else is
So
getting
you can
in.
look up
That'll
like
be
a
a good
direct.
idea.
You can see who the real person, what the real social media, whatever social media their public social media is. We'll invite people to join that as well,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
we'll let people know what the name of that's going to be in due course, and we'll publish it on your channel. Because of course, like the NGOs are going to like create their own version and say that this is the verified version. But what's the space below, and then
we'll
critique
be
to
able to
understand.
voice message.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk. If I'm in a real group,
Of
if it's really me, I'll just say it's me and the time and the date, and that's it. That's me verified. You know what I mean? So they will try and do this, but it'll take a while to iron the kinks out. But I reckon within a week we
course.
could have that full of real nationalists,
You have to
verified
take the
people.
legs to Monday, these fuckers.
I could take
They're
five
probably
people off
sitting
hand
there
at that.
scratching the balls thinking they've done a great job, but like now we'll get the word out, and
Yeah.
as soon as like the influencers realize what's going on, that's the end of that. That's the end of that trick.
I wonder are they making up accounts of people like Dolores Cattle or maybe Justin Barrett or Henry Kelly, because somebody messaged me and said they're making up accounts of, or not making up accounts. Somebody said that Dolores Cattle is after losing her pension or something like that. Is that true? I don't know if that's even true. That's probably a different thing. That's to do with the state. But
Oh no,
I
doubt
just
they'll
wonder,
be at that as well, trying
are
to
they
trying to
harassing them
discredit
people?
her, get her, yeah,
Yeah.
impersonate her, get her to say, the account would say something that she would never say, and then
Yes.
screenshot that, go to her employers and say, look, this is what's going on. So just
Yeah.
it's as long as we're using these social media, there's an over reliance on social media, and we need to get out of that and meet up in real life. I've been saying this for 2 years, but
Mm.
some people just don't want to do it. But as long as you stay in the virtual world, you're vulnerable to being a victim, basically, of
Very true.
impersonation.
And once I know
So there you
who
go.
someone is, I'd meet up with them, no problem. Yeah, thanks for coming on and having this chat. I'm going to share this around the place, and hopefully people will realize and they'll double check and they won't assume the worst when they see some cloned account that is probably impersonating any of us. It could be any of us that this could happen
Don't be
to.
the next Duke. Don't be the next
No,
one to be taken made a fool of.
exactly. All right, folks. So take
Okay,
care,
thanks,
and
Chris.
thanks a million for coming on, Conor. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Cheers. So there you go, folks. I can't really write out in the comments what it's about. It's about subversion. It's about accounts being cloned on Telegram. It's going on since last September, Traddad. Since the NGO class, as we call them in that stream, realised that the nationalist movement was growing because of the lockdowns and the huge amounts of people that were out last summer. Yeah, they tried to come in here and disrupt everything, and they cloned people's accounts. That man there that I had on the stream was a candidate for the Irish Freedom Party in the last general election. He's a great networker. They tried to harass him off the internet, but he's too determined to let them get to him. But it's just yesterday he responded to one of my messages that I sent him a couple of months ago, and he had been off doing stuff with education and stuff like that. And straight away, he was able to tell me that what had been happening to me had just been happening to him a few months previously from the very same people, because some of the accounts that were impersonating him were actually contacting me. So that's it, folks. That's enough drama for one Sunday. I hope you have a good Sunday. Go and enjoy yourselves and whatever. Stay safe and take care. And I'll talk to you again before. I'll be back on before Tuesday. It could be Tuesday evening when I'm back on D Live. This stream is also going on BitChute. It's on the YouTube channel Celtic People Archive. It's going on my Odyssey channel as well. So that's where it'll be, and the replay will be here on D Live. Please tell everybody about these tactics that are in the nationalist movement in Ireland, and anybody else that watches from any other country. The same tricks can be used on you as well. So there's good information in this, great information in this for everybody. Alright folks, take care, and I'll talk to you again. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this stream if you can.